Just like how blackness is not a monolith, neither are trans people. So yeah, just understand that. Like, I just want people to understand that gender is just as complex as humans. Humans are complex as fuck. Why wouldn't gender be complex as fuck? Welcome to my channel. This is a channel where I just do whatever I want. I wanted to do a video on my gender journey, just like so far, just like how I came to know that I was trans, and like the steps I went through, like my experiences, and yeah. So I'm just going to go into this shit because I wrote down a lot, maybe more than I needed to, but I just wanted to be thorough because I feel like I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm not going to be able to convey it all if I don't have these things written down. So, first off, when did I know? When did I know? When did I know? When did I know? When did I know that I was trans? So, I think I knew around like my mid teens, like early mid teens, like 14, 15. That was like 2009, 2008, around that time. I didn't really know much about transness at all. I didn't know, I really just knew the basics. Like, someone who's trans wants to switch sides. Like, cue the switching sides sound. Switching sides. That's all I really knew. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know any other terminology. What words were derogatory other than the T word and the F word. This is around puberty, like early puberty and stuff. Like, so I remember really being a very horny teenager. I started to explore my sexuality, and that was around the time when I started to think, like, damn, I wish I was a girl. Like, I really wish I was a girl. And at the risk of unintentionally validating weirdos who think autogynephilia is a real thing, I myself, me, only me, no other trans person, explore my sexuality as also an extension in a way to uh, explore my gender. And I just wanted to say that, like, if you come into my comments with that I don't got affiliate shit saying like, oh, you just want to be trans because you want to fuck yourself and all that, no, get the fuck out of here. I don't want you here. Like, shoe fly, like, get the fuck out of here. I really used sex and corn to explore my gender. I was a very introverted person and I didn't really like socialize that much. Had a lot of social anxiety, depression, uh among other things that I come to find out later in my life. I had my own room and I had my own laptop, which means I had access to the internet, which means I can just go on the internet and do whatever the fuck I want, search up whatever I want. And I uh was a fucking horny fucking person. I spent a lot of time on the internet, spent a lot of time playing video games, a lot of time watching anime, reading manga. Like, I was just like very hermit, shut in, slash introvert slash socially anxious person. So this is who you're working with. This goes into the next section. So at this point, I was thinking these thoughts. I had these feelings that, like, like I wish I was a girl and stuff like that. Puberty happened to me, and like I started growing hair in places, and you know where those places are. So I saw that happening to me in my body, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" Like I'm growing hair, like underarm hair. I'm growing body hair in general, and worst of all, I'm growing fucking facial hair. And facial hair was like the bane of my existence. Like, like I really cannot with facial hair. Like, it was really bad. I just felt really icky about myself. I just felt very icky when I had facial hair and when I had body hair and stuff. So like I took it upon myself to get a razor and shave, and like I spent a lot of time shaving. I'll spend a lot of time in the bathroom trying to get rid of all my body hair. I remember using Nair when nobody was home, like nobody, and like my mom and dad are not there, my brother's not there. It's just me. I remember I would wait for those days, so I can just be in the bathroom as long as I want, and I can put on the Nair, I can wait and all that stuff, wait for it to do whatever it has to do to get rid of my hair, and I was just like, I was so like I just couldn't with the hair. I really couldn't. Like I just couldn't. It was just no. But like after a while of doing this, I finally mustered up some type of courage to talk to somebody about this other than uh myself. I decided to talk to my dad about this, and I really don't remember much. I have like a really fuzzy memory. Like I don't really remember much of my childhood at this point. Just like glimpses and like little previews and stuff. I did remember him bringing up the whole black man dressing up as a woman for comedy, for jokes, for laughs, like that kind of trope. Like Medea, Big Mama's Family, not Big Mama, Shanae, like whatever comedian you can think of who dressed up as a woman for the sake of laughs. He brought that up to me. I don't really remember much of what he said, but I do remember that. A good documentary to watch about that actually is it goes into that, but not into the just like it doesn't go deeper into like the black side of things. It just goes into the representation of trans people throughout media, like throughout the decades and stuff. It's called Disclosure. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but like I remember watching it on Netflix. I'm probably gonna watch it again because I need a refresher. I remember how he talked about how much time I spent in my room just by myself. I have all this time to think about different things, and I think he was essentially saying was that like I was not like preoccupying myself, so like I just had all these random thoughts and stuff like that, like just thoughts that you just never thought about before. But like I don't really think that was the case because I was thinking this when I was in school. I was thinking this when I was actually doing things. Like I wasn't just thinking about this when I was just in my room and just like bored, which is like how I understood what he was saying at the time. But like it it obviously didn't track for me. So at the time, I eventually found out about what we call traps. Trap is a derogatory word used for someone whose perceived gender is quote unquote opposite of their anatomical sex, particularly a trans woman or a effeminate boy. It implies that others who are attracted to them, typically hetero men, are maliciously being deceived or trapped regarding their real gender. So yeah, it's considered derogatory, dehumanizing, and this I'm gonna say at this time, like I did not know any of that shit. Like I do not use this word at all anymore. I would not use this word other than in this video because it's central to this video and the context of this video. So like I know it's derogatory, I know it's fucked up, I know it's like really like transphobic and shit. I really do. I know that. I just want to let you know because just disclaimer. But I found out about traps through anime, and I started watching a lot of anime that were like gender bending. Like I remember like one of the ones that I really liked was this one called Maria Holic, and it's like this there's like these twins, and the boy like cross dresses and goes to a all girls school. I remember the main character being a like a lesbian, like she was like girl. But like I really like that anime, and I even got the manga. Like I have the manga, I still have some of the books, but like I like grew like really infatuated with the idea of being a trap. I eventually found a website called Trap Heaven or Trap Haven, one of the two, and it was like a forum, and it was just like a bunch of like people who like it just had to do with a trap. And I would lurk there most of the time. Like there was like sometimes that I posted, but like I didn't. I was just lurking. because like I was so infatuated with the idea of just being feminine, to look feminine. So I would look at ways that AMAB people like used exercise to feminize their body and stuff, and just like do exercises, do like I'm doing like side planks and shit like that. I'm trying to like really get like that like hourglass curvy kind of look. Like I really wanted that, and like I feel like I kind of accomplished that at this point, but that's besides the point. I just want to say this is where I reiterate that I am not a onogonophile, and I am not going to sit here and like entertain any onogonophilic type of accusations or anything like that. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need to hear that. Like, if you want to see a video that touches on that, there's a YouTube channel, Jesse Gender. It's the, I think I have it written down, the sexualization of trans bodies. That was a good video for me when I was like first like transitioning. But like, watch that video because it touches on that more than I can ever touch on it in a more like concise and uh articulate way. So watch that. I spent a lot of my time doing exercises, you know, trying to craft that curvy hourglass figure, you know, like I really wanted that. And all of this is happening. I told you all this information. So even with all this going on, I still didn't believe I was trans, because deep down in the back of my mind, I was terrified at that possibility. So I spent a lot of time, a little over a decade, lying to myself, repressing these feelings, repressing that urge, that idea, repressing everything that had to do with it. Trying to, at least, because all the while I was repressing it, I was still I was still wearing women's clothes and stuff in secret. Like, I chalked it up as a fetish that also just contributed to me not accepting myself, accepting this aspect of myself, and transitioning in general. So, yeah. I also wanted to say, during this era where I was so infatuated with traps, like I was really getting into cosplay, and I really like cosplay, like, and I thought it was really fun. I still really think it's fun. I don't have the money to do it, but I found myself wanting to cosplay mostly female characters. And I think I cosplayed Luffy, and I cosplayed Sasuke. But that was really it. Most of the other cosplays that I wanted to do or I tried to do, like, was female characters. Like, and I'm talking like characters like Ryuko from Kill la Kill, Polo from Spice and Wolf, Yuki Nagato from Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Sombra and Ana from Overwatch, Maria from Bloodborne, Mina from My Hero Academia, Fos from Land of Illustrious. I know that Fos is like not gendered, but like you can see like the femininity. I just really wanted to cosplay these characters. Like I really liked these characters. I really liked a lot of female characters. I resonated with them. Like I felt something like from these characters for whatever reason. And I think we know now. I think I know why. Since I was repressing all of these feelings and socialized as a boy, I told myself and other people that the cosplays I wanted to do gender bended versions. I remember searching up the gender bended version, the gender bended cosplay of Ryuko from Kill la Kill. Ryuko's design was so fucking cool to me. Like I was like, wow, this is like one of the cleanest designs ever. And I wanted to cosplay her, but I never got to cosplay Ryuko, but when I was thinking about it, I wanted to do a gender bender version. So like I had pants instead of a skirt and stuff like that. Just, you know, like so I can kind of have my cake and eat it too without like letting people know that like I'm actually like, I don't know, like I'm actually like trans or whatever because I'm wearing women's clothes. But I know that there's also men that would cosplay as women, like female characters, but it was always done as a joke, and I wasn't trying to do it as a joke. I was legitimately like, "Yo, I fucking love this character. I love this design. I want to cosplay that." I promise I'm sis. The year is 2021, and I have not thought about my gender, and I have not thought about being trans for like a decade or whatever. And what brought me back to thinking about it was my partner. He was also dealing with like gender identity and figuring himself out and stuff. And he told me that he was like just like going through that journey and stuff. And that was like the catalyst for me to think about it again, because it was just fresh in my mind, and I'm like, I know there's something that has to do with this that needs to be addressed at some point. And around this time I had recently came out as bisexual and stuff. So like I knew I had to think about gender at some point. And it just happened to be 2021. I started thinking about my gender again. I started watching YouTube videos, just like any trans creator on YouTube at the time who was like talking about the experience of being trans. How do you know if you're trans or not? I was watching these videos like I know I did, like I acted as if I didn't know the answer, but I did know the answer. And that's so funny to me that like I was just I was trying to be so sure, and like it was just like the answer is already right there in your fucking heart, but you're just like, no, I need logic, I need reasoning. And it's just like, no bitch, just go follow your heart. Like follow your damn heart. Like that's not where your heart is, but like follow it. Like, and that's what I didn't do. And I like spent like over a decade just like not truly like letting myself flourish and bloom and be who I am, because of transphobia, transmisogyny, homophobia, like the stigma. Like at the time, like 2000s, like girl, 2000s was like, it was horrible. Like I know it was like bad. It was bad before that, but like it was like in the media, gayness and stuff and homosexuality or whatever. It was just like, it was like free reign. Like anybody would just say anything, and it was just like they would make jokes about it and stuff. And it's just like it was just really weird. Like if you watch like movies like Harold and Kumar or some shit, it's so gay. It's gay as fuck. Like that movie is so gay. Like like there's no reason for that movie to be that gay, and people in the movie are claiming that they're straight. Like, and like for real, like if we're being serious, that was a lot of like boys. Like they would do a lot of gay shit and claim no homo afterwards, and it's like, are you being serious? So yeah, I was watching sorry, I just went on a tangent. I was just yapping. Okay. Started watching YouTube videos and stuff. I started to look for different podcasts about the matters, and I found this podcast called Queersplaining. And Queersplaining, the host had would have episodes where like listeners can send in emails or whatever to answer, to get their questions answered and stuff. The host was very knowledgeable about um just gender and like queerness, and just like had the experience. So like the host had like a lot of like wisdom, just having gone through it. And I remember one of the answers, I forget what the question was, but I remember the answer that the host had was like, look in the mirror and say, my name is blah, 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 and I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm non-binary. And I remember I was coming home from work one morning, because I worked overnight at a hospital during the damn pandemic. That was terrible. Ugh. Yeah, but like I was working as a environmental services cleaner at a hospital, and I was coming home from work, and as I sat at the traffic light waiting for it to turn green, I looked myself in the rearview mirror and I said, My name is, and I'm a man. And I felt nothing. I felt nothing at all. So I said, my name is, and I'm a woman. And I felt something. I felt, I felt like a salad of emotions. Like I felt anxiety. I felt fear, but I also felt like excitedness. I felt giddy. I felt that little butterfly feeling in your stomach, and like I like it just made me feel something. Like, and while I'm having that feeling, I'm also having another feeling simultaneously. It's like, oh my god, I cannot be this. This cannot be. This cannot be me. I was scared. Like I was so scared. Like I was so scared of like this possibility because I did not know how to go about it. I didn't know how I was going to go about it as a socially anxiety bitch with depression and socially awkward. Like I was like, how am I even going to do this? I dreaded talking about this with other people other than my partner. And at this point, I had already came out as bi. So the thought of having to come out again was not it for me. A couple of months passed and I actually finally get to live in my own apartment for the first time. This was still in 2021. This was around the time I started exploring different gender identities and learning about it. And I also, when I discovered the Gender Dysphoria Bible, which I read, and I realized a lot of things that like it made me feel depressed, and a lot of those things was just actually dysphoria. Brings me to my next chapter. Like I just actually like accept that I'm trans, and it was like one of the loneliest times in my life. Like one of the loneliest times I ever fucking had in my life. I felt so alone. I felt like I didn't. I felt like very. I just felt like, is this the right decision? Like things like that, and it was a really dark, sucky time for me. And becoming aware of like the gender dysphoria, I just became way more aware of how sad I was because of knowing all of these things that like were actually gender dysphoria. And yeah, I know I had to do something about it at a certain point because I could not just live like a man. Like I could not. This shit was like the genders that I really like resonated with around the time were like agender flux, um, binary trans woman, a non-binary trans woman. Like it was really confusing and stressful, and I felt like out of place, and I hesitated to like actually like find people to connect with in real life and find out like a queer community. So I didn't feel so alone because I just felt so overwhelmed by this whole thing, and that just kept me from like seeking out and finding people who were like me, who just wanted to like fucking live and just be themselves. And it was also just intimidating as hell because like this is also like this is a girl. This is coming from a girl who in high school like literally had to learn how to look at people in their fucking eye when they spoke. Like I was like girl, like I was like a like person. I was literally trying to search up and learn how to be a human. I was on WikiHow, Yahoo Answers, fucking uh what the fuck was that last one? I forget. There was another one. But like I was on those websites figuring out, I'm trying to learn how to be a human basically. I'm like, how am I supposed to act in this situation, or what am I supposed to do in this situation? How am I like what am I supposed to say in this situation? I would have like scripts and stuff in my mind, like I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that. I remember my first therapist, like we went to a fucking like it was like a what was it? It was a Quiznos, and we got food, and I was just like I was really scared, and like scared to just look at the person in the eye and tell them what the fuck I wanted to eat. And um I had to get over that part. Like, not get over it, but like I had to work through it. And like gradually over the years, I became more comfortable, like just being like talking to other people like that. But after some time, Halloween starts to approach, and I decided I wanted to dress up as a cat girl maid. I know it's like very original. I know I'm so fucking original. Like, I'm so original. I was only able to get like a few things because I was not financially stable, because I was very financially irresponsible. But I did end up getting like an apron, a skirt. I got cat ears, a choker, some white stockings, and these black heels that I had when I thought I was going to be a drag queen. I think it was on a weekend. I'm pretty sure it was on a weekend. But like, I went over to my cousin's house because like I would go over to my cousin's house and we would play like tabletop RPG games and shit like that. And we all were dressing up for Halloween, and I put on all of these things, and I felt gender euphoria. Like, nigga, a nigga was like feeling herself. Like, I felt so good about myself. I was like, oh my god. And it was just like I looked at myself with, I was in heels, and I was just like, wow, I'm really beautiful. And like, that was really like a first time where I was like really like actually liked what the fuck I looked like. Cause like growing up, like everything, I didn't like how I looked. Like there was a point where I thought it was ugly as fuck. Like I thought it was like one of the ugliest people. And I had to slowly try to build my self esteem. And I remember I got to a point and I was like, I don't know, like 16, 17, where I was finally like, you know what? I'm not ugly. I'm okay. Like, I just like, I really felt like good about myself when I saw myself in a mirror and I saw like I had makeup on, I had a skirt on, like I was just like feeling it, and I just like, I was like, damn, there's no way I'm cis. Felt so cute and hot. Like when I took it off, like it really saddened me. Like I really felt sad when I had to take it off. I'm like, damn, I have to take all this off. And I felt sad. 2022 happened, and this is the year that I finally trans my gender, and I take the estrogen, the E, the titty juice, the really wanted that sweet, sweet, sweet estrogen nectar. I really wanted that, and it was March 15th, 2022, when was the first day I started estrogen. I felt so excited, like I was wishing that like I could see like I was wishing I could see the effects sooner. Like I was very like impatient about it, and I was really happy about it, but at the same time was also scared because I still hadn't come out to like most of my family, like my immediate family, and just like most of my family in general, and only a few of my friends knew, and the people that I connected with on social media. So I was really scared, and I boy moded for like a year. It's so funny because there was a point where I was like, I'm not going to be able to have these titties. Like, I'm not going to be able to have these. And I'm like, I'll just go back to the boy moding. Like, I really just went back to boy moding. Like, I was like, I just like even like after that, I was like, I'm not going to be able to have these titties at some point. And I just proceeded to boy mode some more, and I had no plan whatsoever. Like I really had no plan. I didn't know what the hell I was going on. I just wanted that. I just wanted to start transitioning. Like, but I would present film at nighttime, especially on weekends, because I would go over my cousin's house and play tabletop games and shit. So I would. That was like a place where I felt like I could just like present film and I could be myself. You know, um, I'm really grateful for him for that. Like as I was saying, I was like I was boy moding, and a lot of internalized transphobia and fearing for my safety where I think the contributors to me still boy moding even like after like damn near a year into the transitioning. So like I had to undo a lot of internalized transphobia. I've talked about it on social media and shit on my socials before. I got like a whole ass notebook. I listed out everything that I had thought of, or I think that I thought in terms of transness, like any transphobic ideas, any transphobic rhetoric. I wrote down a big ass list of all of those things, and I just wrote one by one, like refuting every single one of those one by one. And I was like, because I really needed to get out, I really needed to like get get this internalized transphobia out of me because it was really fucking with me. If I hadn't done that, I could have been like a lot of these like self-hating trans girls out here for real. So I'm taking my estrogen for a while and stuff, and I have to start thinking about coming out to my parents because at a certain point they're going to just see, they're going to be able to see, and I was just like, yeah, that shit's really anxiety inducing, and very like I was dreading that. I was so scared. So as a way to have some type of control with the situation, I remember writing this long ass letter, just everything about how I was feeling, trying to explain everything. I had pictures. I had pictures from the Gender Dysphoria Bible in it. I like printed this shit out, and me, my partner, and my cousin went to my dad's house, my parents' house one day or one night, and I gave him the paper, and I was quite surprised at his reaction. Because I thought I thought like it was going to be like, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I was just expecting the worst because I'm already like that type of person, and at that point I was that type of person who expected a lot of the worst. So I would think like, what would my family think of me? Like, what would they treat me differently? Like, what if I don't tell them? What if I just don't tell them? Like, I even had that thought. Like, I gave them that paper, and my reaction was not what I expected. It was positive. I feel like there are many valid reasons for me fearing coming out to my family. So my brain was working overtime to think about every possible result of coming out, like just everything. So, and socially transitioning in the presence of my family, I thought about that too, and I was like, oh my god. And it has been very awkward. I'm just an awkward person though. Like, so I'm thinking that it's just me being awkward and like projecting my awkwardness onto the actual situation of me socially transitioning in front of my family. But I don't know. So that happens, and a year passes, and that's when I start taking progesterone. I have been since then, and progesterone is great. Um, I think it really like helps develop the girls. Like it really helps develop them more. Right now with my gender, I found that multiple different labels resonate with me, and some of them happen to be queer, transfem, trans woman, non-binary. But the label that really like resonated with me the most was demigirl. And for those of you who don't know, a demigirl is someone who only partially, not wholly, identifies as a girl slash woman, whatever their assigned gender at birth is. They may or may not identify as another gender in addition to feeling partially a woman. And that felt like I had felt like I wasn't fully a woman. Like I felt I had, because like one of the first genders that I thought I was a gender. Because I felt like I was just like half the time I'm like, I'm just like neutral, I'm nothing. And then other times I felt really femme, and I just felt like, damn, I'm like, no, I'm a girl. And then other times I'm like, I don't know what I am, but I know I'm not a man. And demigirl was really like the label that I felt like resonated with me the most, and the label that I feel can explain to other people, because I feel like labels in general are really like used as an explanation for something. It doesn't actually have to be, the word doesn't actually have to be fully what you are, but it best describes what you are to other people, so people um can get like an idea of what you are. You know what I mean? So I I don't think like the label is what defines me, but I just use these labels as a way to like describe these for other people to have a better understanding if they are even willing to understand. But yeah, so like my gender journey, I went from a he him to a he they to a she they to a they she to a she they it, and currently back to she they. And don't even think about commenting about the it pronoun. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't. I promise you, I don't care. Yeah. This has been my journey so far. I just wanted to say that this is only one trans person's journey. This is only one trans person's take, one trans person's opinions, feelings. There's so many trans people. We're all different. Like, just remember that. Like, if you met one trans person, you met that trans person, like a trans person. Because like we're not all the same. We're not a monolith. Just like how blackness is not a monolith, neither are trans people. So yeah, just understand that. Like, I just want people to understand that gender is just as complex as humans. Humans are complex as fuck. Why wouldn't gender be complex as fuck? Especially since gender came from us, human beings. So like, just remember to be like, not be reductive in the comments if you care to comment. Um, yeah. I wanted to talk about some of the things, like what are like some of the lessons I can take from my experience so far, and I had some written down. Like, you never know who might surprise you, like others being accepting. Like, you never know. Like, for real, I was like when my sister was like okay, and it was like kind of weird because like it had like God stuff in it, but I was like, that's a win. A win is a win, nigga. A win is a win. So like, you never know who might surprise you, and it's been like kind of a journey for my parents, like trying to like not did name me or not misgendering me, but like it's gotten better and better over the time. Like, at a point, it was really hurting me. Like, I had to really just stand up for myself, but also try to be patient, because like I know that like this is some shit that like these, like my parents are boomers, like they don't know really anything about this shit unless they were hanging around like queer people and stuff. So like I understand that, and I had to try to figure out a way to like not let it be a thing where I'm like not being stepped on and I'm not being like disregarded, but also just trying to be patient. Like, I was trying to find a fine line between that. It was difficult for me, but like, yeah. Um Another thing I think I can take away from this experience so far is your feelings on what you call yourself may change. Like, trying out different names, trying out different labels, trying out different pronouns. Like I went through a bunch of different pronouns. The pipeline from he him to he they to like all the way to she they. Like, that shit is real. Yeah, transitioning is not easy. This shit is not easy. If you had a trans person in your life, cut that motherfucker some slack, please. This shit is not easy. This shit is hard. It's also just an interesting experience being trans. Like, you see so much of society and how gender like affects society, and like the things that like people do because of gender and how they think they should be. And my partner just came in. Hello. Hello, nigga. Oh my god. Another thing that I take away from this experience is just like trans is beautiful. Being trans is beautiful. Like this shit is like this is such a unique experience that like not many people get to have. So like I cherish this, even though like all the anti-transness and the transphobia and all these fucking like we still fucking beautiful regardless of what anybody fucking says, or anybody has to fucking say, what anybody does. You can do everything in the world, but like that ain't going to keep people from being trans, and that's not going to keep transness from being like not beautiful. Another thing I can take away from this experience is people that truly accept you will try. Like people who truly accept you will try. Like they will. The people who don't, I don't think they really accept you. I think it's tolerance. It's not really acceptance. There's a difference between acceptance and tolerance. And a lot of motherfuckers out here are doing the bare minimum, which is barely counting as tolerance, but we're not even going to get into that shit. It feels like there's no way for a trans woman to explore their gender through sex without it automatically being deemed autogynephilia in some people's minds, but it might just be a transphobic bias. That's it that I have for this video. Thank you for the 30 subscribers. I don't even know how y'all are even watching all this shit. This shit's funny. I don't even know how y'all are watching this. Like, but okay, but like, thank you, 30 subscribers. That's wild. Like, I don't really expect anybody to watch any of this slop because like I'm just like doing whatever the fuck I want, and I'm not really like putting an effort to make things look all like super shiny, to super like how a lot of YouTube videos are. Like I had a video, like I was going to originally do this video, and I had like a whole set piece or and shit that I was going to have an intro for, but like the weather's been being trash and not sunny like the day I did record it. So like I'm just like, fuck it. But yeah, that's my journey so far. Yeah. Bye. The fuck.